Hey guys, DKEBUILDS here. What we're going to be doing today is soldering the battery onto the connector. This is so you can drift around your D64 RC Hot Wheels. We have a 1S 3.7 volt battery. This is your JST 1.25mm male connector. This is what you'll be soldering onto the battery. So let's just go through what we're going to need. Need the connector, some solder. You will also need the battery as well. Let's just go grab that. You want a soldering iron. Mine's a cheap Aldi one, 4 volts. It's good for this type of soldering. And keep a nice low temperature that will be perfect. £3, what a bargain. Let's test if it works. Open the bag and take the battery out. So, now that we've got the battery out the bag, comes with a standard connector, but this one is too big, so we need to change it. Cut off the old connection and then solder on the new connection. When cutting the wires, make sure that you do it one at a time so that you don't short the battery out and it explodes in your face. It's a very small battery, so it's not really going to happen, but it is still possible. So now let's just let the soldering iron warm up. When it's green, it's warmed. There you go, now it's green. Tin up the end of the soldering iron with some solder. I'm just going to tin up the wires for the battery. There you go, all done. Now take the connector and cut it to 1.5 inches long. Now that's done, you'll need to strip the ends of the wire. I use a fingernail, it's a bit easier. So it will look like this at the end, about 1mm off the end. Now tin up the soldering iron and solder the ends of the wires. Cool, all done with that. So, you just need some heat shrink tubing. Cut a small bit, just a little bit longer than the soldering joint. Just like that. You just need to put them both on the wires. Now we're going to solder the connection to the battery. Make sure you do black to black and red to red. Now we're just going to solder it up. Make sure not to touch the wires. I just need to rearrange this so I can solder the red wire. Now make sure to do black to black and red to red. I'm just going to adjust it and then I'll cut it as well. Just going to solder the red wire now. Great, so now that that's finished, all you're going to want to do now is take your heat shrink tubing and pull it over the soldering joints. Make sure to get it centered and repeat this on both sides. After that, take a clipper or any other lighter and we're just going to heat up the underside of the heat shrink. All we want to do is shrink it over the joints. There we go, you can see it's all shrinking now. Just going to do it again. The captions are a little bit behind, ignore them. So make sure not to melt it like I nearly did. But other than that, once it's all shrunk down, you're all good to go.